Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on a surprising and deeply unfortunate development surrounding the legacy of a true American icon, Jimmy Buffett. For millions, Buffett was more than just a musician. He was the embodiment of a lifestyle, a feeling, a destination. His Margaritaville empire wasn't just a catchy song. It transformed into resorts, restaurants, and a sprawling business that captured the imagination of generations across the nation. But beneath the laid back, sun drenched image, a complex and contentious legal battle has erupted over his vast $275 million estate, a fight that his closest friends say Jimmy himself would have desperately wanted to avoid. This isn't just about money. It's about control, trust, and the interpretation of a beloved figure's final wishes. Since Jimmy Buffett's passing in September 2023 at the age of 76, following a battle with Merkel cell skin cancer, a significant dispute has ignited between his widow, Jane Buffett, and Richard Mosenter, a longtime accountant and financial advisor who was appointed as co-trustee of Buffett's trust. The core of this conflict centers on the management and transparency of the trust, which, among other substantial assets, includes a highly lucrative 20% stake in his iconic Margaritaville chain. Both parties have initiated legal actions, each seeking the removal of the other from their co-trustee roles, painting a stark picture of an unsolvable rift. Jane Buffett, who was married to Jimmy for 46 years, filed a petition in Los Angeles Superior Court in early June, alleging that Mosenter has been openly hostile and adversarial and plainly deficient in his duties as co-trustee. She claims he has consistently failed to provide essential financial information regarding the trust's assets, leaving her in the dark about her own financial standing. According to court filings, Jane requested an analysis of her projected income from the trust just 1 month after Jimmy's death. But Mosenter allegedly spent the next 16 months stonewalling and making excuses for not providing the requested details. When Mosenter finally provided an estimated projection in February, it was, according to Jane's legal team, shocking. He forecast that the $275 million trust would generate less than $2 million annually, equating to a rate of return of less than 1%. This projection, Jane's complaint highlights, did not even factor in future distributions from Margaritaville, despite Mosenter acknowledging that the company had already paid out approximately $14 million over the prior 18 months. Jane's lawsuit argues that if this projected low return is accurate, it suggests Mosenter is either not competent to administer the trust or unwilling to act in Mrs. Buffett's best interests. Adding to the perceived lack of transparency, Jane's complaint also accuses Mosenter of having belittled, disrespected, and condescended her in response to her reasonable requests for information. She further claims that Mosenter and his firm have been paid enormous fees, reportedly between $1.7 million and nearly $2 million annually for their services, regardless of his alleged mistreatment of her. Jane specifically points to instances where Mosenter allegedly pushed her to approve Jeffrey Smith as counsel for co-trustees, a lawyer who then accused her of breaching her fiduciary duty for suggesting Jimmy's longtime music manager, Irving Azoff, for a documentary negotiation. Furthermore, Mosenter is accused of transferring properties in New York, Florida, and St. Bartholomew Island, which Jane believes should have been left to her personally, into the estate. Jane is seeking Mosenter's removal and proposes Daniel Neidich, the CEO of Dune Real Estate Partners, as his replacement. However, Mosenter has also taken legal action, filing his own petition in Florida State Court to remove Jane as co-trustee and personal representative of the estate. His attorneys contend that Jimmy Buffett had, quote, clearly intended to limit his wife's control over the trust. Mosenter's filing asserts that Jimmy had, quote, repeatedly expressed concerns regarding Jane's ability to manage and control his assets and was very careful to create the trust in a manner that precluded Jane from having actual control over the trust. Mosenter claims that Jane has been very angry about the trust structure and has repeatedly acted in a hostile manner toward Rick and has been completely uncooperative in his attempts to administer the trust. Mosenter's lawsuit further alleges that Jane has only acted on behalf of herself as a beneficiary and not as a co-trustee, leading to unnecessary costs for the trust. He cited an example involving Jimmy Buffett's former boat captain, where Jane's alleged interference led to significantly higher costs for the trust than initially planned. Mosenter also claims Jane has refused to collaborate on crucial tasks like financial analysis and tax returns, forcing him to undertake responsibilities that should have been shared. He asserts that he has had to manage significant estate tasks, including firing 35 employees, selling 3 airplanes, selling or donating 2 boats, and selling properties in Los Angeles and Palm Beach, which included 3 properties on Route Trail in Palm Beach that have all been sold since Jimmy's death. He also states that Jane attempted to remove their eldest daughter as a remainder beneficiary of the trust, purportedly against Jimmy's wishes. The sources reveal a clear contradiction in the perception of Jimmy Buffett's wishes. While Mosenter's legal team suggests Jimmy sought to limit Jane's control over his assets, a close family friend speaking on Jane's behalf emphasizes that Jimmy had a strong bond and trust in Jane throughout their 46 years of marriage. This friend asserts that Jimmy relied upon and trusted Jane around so many of his important decisions in his life and career, and never would have wanted Jane to be treated like this. This stark contrast underscores the deep personal and financial stakes involved in this ongoing legal drama. The trust itself, central to this dispute, was established over 30 years ago for Jane's benefit and was most recently updated in 2023, just before Jimmy's passing. Upon his death, the majority of his assets were transferred to a marital trust intended to be administered jointly by Jane and an independent co-trustee. The couple's 3 children, Savannah, 46, Delaney, 33, and Cameron, born in 1994, are also named in the trust, with each receiving a 1/3 share of the remaining federal estate tax exemption, valued at approximately $2 million each. This complex structure, intended to protect his family, has unfortunately become the very source of intense contention. The legal proceedings are currently underway, with a court date set for August 14th. This battle over one of music's most significant legacies continues to unfold, revealing the challenging complexities that can arise even after a life well lived. As Jimmy Buffett's personal and business affairs are scrutinized in court, the outcome will undoubtedly shape the future of his enduring empire and, most importantly, the financial security of his family. Thank you for joining us today to understand the intricate details of this unfolding story. We appreciate you taking the time to stay informed on this significant development. Goodbye for now.